many, many years to perfect his craft.
A craft he showed off at this year's Grammys. His performance so impressed Tommy Mottola, the man who made Mariah Carey, that Martin moved from Sony's Latin division to its mainstream label. With a powerful publicity machine behind him, a star was born.
He brings a whole culture with him, and it sort of gives his work an edge.
Well, the good news is the Latin invasion may be just beginning. Singer Mark Anthony and actress Jennifer Lopez will be coming out with CDs this summer. Just 2 days till Star Wars blasts into theaters, but Sunday, the stars came out in full force at special screenings coast to coast, all for charity. Fran Drescher, Chris O'Donnell, Macaulay Culkin. In Chicago, Rosie O'Donnell rapped for her charity, the For All Kids Foundation.
We saw the movie called Star Wars, and we had a lot of fun, raising $300,000 before the stack was done.
In New York, Jedi Knight Liam Neeson joined Christian Slater from Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Hospital. On the left coast, 10-year-old Jake Lloyd showed up at the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Benefit and showed off his new action figure.
I'm happy with it. A little bit blonder hair, but I'm happy with it.
He's adorable. Another young star shooting to stardom from Star Wars is Natalie Portman, but Natalie almost followed a different path to fame. Elaine Lipworth takes us back to Natalie's roots.
It's arguably the most anticipated film of all time. After 16 years, a new chapter in the Star Wars saga is bound for the big screen. And for young star Natalie Portman, it's the role of a lifetime.
I will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
In episode 1 of Star Wars, I play Queen Amidala. When I initially saw the designs, I was like, wow, I have to do this.
When Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, blasts into theaters on Wednesday, this very private 17-year-old will hit superstardom at light speed.
Ready my ship.
Surrounded by a galaxy of fans and a media frenzy, it's attention Portman has shunned since she starred in such hit films as Beautiful Girls and The Professionals.
Cool.
Natalie covets her privacy. In fact, Portman isn't even her last name. It's her grandmother's maiden name, which Natalie uses to protect her family's anonymity. An only child, Natalie shares a tight bond with her parents, Avner and Shelley, a bond forged in Portman's homeland of Israel. Extra visited Natalie's childhood home in a suburb of Jerusalem. This humble brick apartment building was the Portman's home in the early 80s. Her neighbor, Lena Natobi, remembers the happy years she shared with her curly-haired playmate.
I always ate lunch at their house. We used to play together. We were almost best friends, if you can say.
When Natalie's father packed up the family and moved to the United States in 1988, Lena was devastated.
They were like family to us.
But Lena kept a tiny memento of her friend, a gold necklace little Natalie left behind.
I was very glad I had it because it's something of hers that I kept.
Shortly after Natalie arrived in the US, she was discovered in a pizza parlor by a Revlon modeling scout.
I told them I don't want to model, I want to act.
Extra caught up with the precocious actress in 1994 as Natalie practiced her riding techniques. She shared her excitement about seeing herself on the big screen.
It's how people describe out-of-body experiences, like you can look onto yourself, and it's really strange.
And just as her parents kept a watchful eye on Natalie's riding lesson, so do they oversee her blossoming Hollywood career. In fact, Natalie will not accept a role without her parents' approval.
We have to read it first and look through it and see if it's okay.
She took the part in the new Star Wars trilogy after her folks decided Amidala was a good role model.
I think that playing the Queen would be inspiring, to young girls.
Yet this positive role model may have a dark side. The hype, the fans, and the merchandise almost guarantee an end to her quiet life. And if the success of the original Star Wars is any indication, the Force will follow Natalie for life.
I've decided to go back to Naboo.
Well, I'd say the Force is definitely with Natalie. She's already been accepted to Harvard and Yale. Whichever she chooses, she'll be busier than your average freshman. Natalie is contracted to star in the next 2 Star Wars prequels. Shooting starts next year. The crashing waves along the coast of Oahu, a surfer's mecca, a tourist paradise. It's beautiful, but it can be deadly. Hugh Alexander almost never lived to tell this tale. Bill Schumann with the extra survivor story.
It was supposed to be a romantic getaway for Hugh Alexander and his girlfriend Katya, but the lovers get too close to the powerful waves at Yokohama Bay. A gigantic wall of water knocks them down. Katya escapes, but Hugh is in for the battle of his life. You can see him struggle in this picture.
I started sliding on my back towards the edge. I reached my hands down and tried to grab onto something, but I couldn't. And then I felt myself go into the air and down into the ocean.
Swimmer in distress. Swimmer in distress.
Caught on tape by an amateur photographer, you can see Hugh, now a prisoner of the violent current and surf, trapped by 10-foot waves crashing against the jagged rocks, swallowed by whitewash and forced into a dark, deadly cave.
I figured this is it. I'm 27 years old. I'm going to die right now.
Offshore, Yokohama surf area. Whole area.
Moments later, lifeguards and rescue workers are on the scene. A flotation device is thrown into the raging surf, but as the young tourist emerges from the sea cave to grab it, another set of waves races in and sends him hurtling right back into that cave.
It's like dynamite exploding every single wave. The odds of somebody surviving, it's less to none.
Lifeguards Brian Piulana and Craig Davidson respond to the call by jet ski. But getting to that cave is not easy.
You want to stay just at the edge where you won't get thrown into the thing, because if you go too close to it, it'll suck you right in.
But Hugh Alexander doesn't have much time. The tide's rising. Soon the cave will be underwater and he'll drown. As it is, he's having trouble catching his breath.
And there'd be times when I'd be underwater for 10, 15, 20 seconds, maybe more, a few times.
More than 2 hours pass. Some of the wet and tired rescuers lose hope. They think Hugh may be dead. But Piulana and his partner do not give up. During a long lull, Piulana calls out. Hey, where are you? Surprisingly, he's alive.
They were coming all the way in the mouth of the cave in their jet ski and yelling for me to come out. And I guess my timing was just bad. I couldn't get out the front of the cave.
This is what it looked like for the tired victim. Barely above water, he was cut, bruised, and suffering from hypothermia. But Hugh gives it one last go. He dives under the water, battling the vicious undertow with all his might. It's now or never. He makes it. As Hugh's blonde head pops up in the surf, rescuers snatch him from danger.
He was just screaming, we got you, we got you, we got you, and that was awesome.
The battle between the man and the sea is finally over.
I just happened to be the victim who was rescued by the best lifeguards in the world.
I would say so. Amazingly, Hugh suffered only minor cuts and bruises that required just a couple of stitches.
She rarely talks in public. Now, Lisa Marie lashes out about what she calls a killer. Plus, eyes wide shut. You saw this. Now, the new scene. We go there to get healed. But did you know the hospitals can be hazardous to your health?
I went into the hospital to prevent a heart attack. As a result of the treatment, I got a heart attack.
Extra reveals simple things you need to know before you check into the hospital if you want to check out alive.
When you add the wholesome goodness of Quaker to the delicious goodness of Cherry Cobbler, you get a cereal bar so good, it may make you good.
My friends can wait. I don't want to miss family time.
Enough of this shoot-'em-up stuff. How about a nice romantic comedy?
From now on, I'm earning my allowance.
New Cherry Cobbler fruit and oatmeal bars from Quaker.
You lost weight?
Can a cereal bar be too good?
Coming up, Tom Cruise breaks his silence on Eyes Wide Shut, plus the secret about the strongest woman in America.
This is how value stacks up in 1990 Isuzu Rodeo LS 4x4.
Now, for a limited time, no down payment, $289 a month.
And automatic power more. Nothing stacks up to 1990 Isuzu Rodeo 4x4.
No down payment, $289 a month.
This is how value stacks up in 1990 Isuzu Trooper.
No down payment or security deposit, $309 a month.
Automatic cassette and more. Nothing stacks up to 1990 Isuzu Trooper.
No down payment or security deposit, $309 a month.
A limited time offer.
Every year, when you see children laughing and building castles in the sand, that's the time New Jersey blossoms. Whether it's Cape May, Atlantic City, or a great adventure in the park, New Jersey is the perfect choice for summer memories.
If you ask me, New Jersey blossoms every time the home team takes the field.
I couldn't agree more, Yogi. The best time to visit the Garden State is when New Jersey blossoms.
New Jersey and you, perfect together. For your free New Jersey travel guide, call 1-800-VISIT-NJ.
And Grandma, what big teeth you have.
Well, my dear, all the better to eat. Huh?
I think somebody's hungry.
Honey Nut Cheerios. I hate it when this happens.
Because real golden honey makes every so irresistible, nobody can say no.
Sorry, Red. Nothing personal.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Now I feel just awful about that grandma thing.
On the next Extra, don't let the soft, sexy poses fool you. This is one woman who can ride with the big boys. A 110-pound Playboy beauty meets 1,800 pounds of bulls. See who wins next Extra.
Lisa Marie Presley speaks out to Extra in a rare public appearance and another eye-opening preview from Tom and Nicole's much-talked-about film. Les Trent has that and more in today's Extra Extra.
Extra, extra. The eyes have it. Here it is, the latest steamy sneak peek at this summer's second most anticipated movie, Eyes Wide Shut.
Stanley Kubrick was not only a master filmmaker, but he was also the architect of the ad campaigns of almost all of his films.
Tom Cruise stars with wife Nicole Kidman in director Kubrick's erotic thriller. The only other clip released from the film caused an international sensation, with Nicole naked and Tom fondling her. Cruise says this new trailer gives the audience another hint about what the movie's about.
Revealing just a little more his vision of Eyes Wide Shut.
Just say no.
We will stop you! Stop you!
Lisa Marie Presley, Juliette Lewis, and Kirstie Alley want doctors to stop prescribing drugs like Ritalin and Prozac to kids. Extra Extra was there Saturday when more than 1,000 people, mobilized by the Church of Scientology, targeted a convention of psychiatrists in Washington.
There's 9 million children on Ritalin right now. There's babies on it. There's infants. They have no choice. They have no chance. These children are on psychiatric drugs. And we are creating time bombs. We are creating killers.
Both stars point to the school massacre in Littleton, Colorado as proof something must be done. Eric Harris, one of the killers, was taking antidepressants. You wanted more. You just got.
We go into the hospital to get well, trusting we'll be better when we come out. Well, that is not always the case. According to a new study from the Harvard School of Public Health, almost 200,000 people die every year from mistakes made in the hospital. So we found out what you need to know to get out alive. Jamie Colby has this extra special report.
Tacoma, Washington. A woman dies from a bacterial infection after exploratory surgery. Fort Worth, Texas. Doctors remove the wrong lung. And in Melbourne, Florida, a patient dies after her respirator is accidentally unplugged. Hospital horrors that could have been avoided.
I almost died.
Dr. Sheldon Blau went into the hospital complaining of chest pain. He died of an infection he contracted there. So he wrote How to Get the Hospital Alive, a guide to helping others survive their hospital stay. Dr. Blau says his tips begin even before you ever set foot inside. He suggests you know the hospitals in the area. Keep a list of your allergies and medications with you. And don't have elective surgery for August, when the new med school graduates are just getting started.
You will have the most inexperienced that doctor will ever be.
If you're really sick, don't be afraid to go to the emergency room, especially for chest pain, shortness of breath, or pain. And always bring a spouse or friend with you. Once you are in the ER, stay away from people who are coughing or sneezing. And don't be too pushy or obnoxious. Tensions run high in the ER.
You shouldn't be pushy, because you're liable to be pushy with a guy who's armed, who's got a short fuse.
That's right. Blau says 30% of the people in the emergency room may be armed. When it comes to your actual health care, be assertive. Don't be afraid to get a doctor's credentials or a doctor's advice. Ethel Faber did that, and it saved her daughter's life. Emergency room doctors told her she was having a miscarriage.
They were telling me I needed to have an emergency to remove the pregnancy. chance of hemorrhaging and bleeding to death.
But Ethel took charge and didn't let doctors bully her and got a second opinion. It's a good thing she did. She gave birth to a healthy baby.
They could have taken the only little girl I'm ever going to have.
If you're having surgery, make sure the surgeon has plenty of experience. Don't be someone's guinea pig. Be sure to mark your body. That's right. A felt tip marker and make it obvious. Other precautions, double check your medication so you get the right medicine at the right dose. And you can help prevent getting a hospital infection if you make sure hospital workers wash their hands or change before treating you. And don't share a room with an infectious patient. So remember, the next time you go to the hospital, it's your life. Don't be afraid to do whatever it takes to make sure you get out alive.
That is stuff to remember. Dr. Blau also has some advice on what to do after you leave the hospital. Check your bill carefully and find out when you can resume normal activities.
She's 16 years old, 290 pounds, one of America's greatest hopes for Olympic glory.
Almost a shoe-in for the bronze medal. Should be a pretty good lockup for silver, good fight for the gold.
Next, meet the strongest woman in United States history. Now, get ready for today's Extra Snapshot. You recognize this face? Here's a hint. This little girl caught acting fever from her famous mom. We'll expose this Extra Snapshot coming up.
Pamela Anderson Lee lost over $70 million in 1 year.
You can't control that.
On the next Access Hollywood, she's being victimized by almost everyone, and she's steamed. But she's fighting fire with fire and revealing her super hot weapon of revenge. Then, Tom Selleck's taking a controversial stand.
I just felt it was time to make some sort of statement.
Why he's backing Charlton Heston to beat back the ban on guns on the next Access Hollywood.
Tonight at 7:30, only on NBC4.
He was part of the animal group.
To study the mind of a convicted killer.
Are you a murderer? Oh, yeah.
A psychiatrist.
If you don't talk to me, I can't help you.
Is prepared to risk everything. Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins.
Never had control. You only thought you had it.
Academy Award winner Cuba Gooding Jr.
Leading me into the jungle.
He's leading you. Instinct.
What are you up to? Therapy?
Rated R. Starts Friday, June 4th.
What a luxury car sale should be. Exclusive. Like the 275 horsepower Lincoln Continental. Unique. Like the extra refinement of Lincoln Town Car Signature Series. Now with no security deposit and no down payment. Yours for $4.99 a month with $4.99 due at signing. Plus special leases on the front-wheel drive Continental. But remember, a true luxury car sale should be limited. Lincoln. What a luxury car should be.
It's smooth. It's indulgent. It's inspired by your favorite ice cream, and it's 99% fat-free. It's new Breyer's Smooth and Creamy Yogurt. Tastes naughty, but it's not.
To make a big impression, it helps to remember that the little things really aren't so little. Mohegan Sign.
Come bets, place bets.
Experience the difference of the Mohegan Sun way.
I'd like to ask for a
Title? Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
I was thinking...
New business cards?
Though what I had in mind...
Company golf hat.
I'm sorry?
Play New York Lottery's yearly raise instant game. Win 25 grand this year, next year, for 10 years.
She's not fast, not a great swimmer, and not even a decent gymnast, but Cheryl Hayworth from Savannah, Georgia, is one of our country's top medal hopefuls for next year's Olympic Games. Rick Schwartz explains Cheryl's unusual talent.
It may sound strange, but Cheryl Hayworth is one of our nation's greatest athletes. She's 16, 290 pounds, and proud.
I'm big and strong.
Very strong. The truth is, this high school sophomore is the strongest female in the United States. And next year at the Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia, she may have the muscle to be called the strongest woman in the world.
People wouldn't be saying things like that if they didn't think that I could make it. And I think that I can make it.
Cheryl wasn't always on a power trip. Her first love is art. But when she was 12, her father took her to a local gym in Savannah, Georgia. That's the same gym where the U.S. Olympic weightlifting team trains.
This was her first up-close look at Olympic-style weightlifting, and she turned to me and she said, "Dad, that looks like fun."
Ever since, Cheryl's been serious about pumping iron, and the hard work's paying off. She's won a wall full of trophies and medals, and last month at the National Championships, Hayworth broke 6 U.S. records.
That is awesome.
Right now, Cheryl can pick up and press 297 pounds over her head. That's just 40 pounds away from the world record held by 2 women in China. And remember, Cheryl's only 16.
She's just a child. The strongest child in the world, but she's just a child.
Michael Cohen is the coach for the U.S. women's weightlifting team. He says Cheryl won't reach her peak as a power lifter until she's 30, but she's already strong enough to be a contender in Sydney.
Will she medal? Yes, absolutely. Almost a shoe-in for the bronze medal. Should be a pretty good lockup for silver, good fight for the gold. Much better fun.
Cheryl receives $1,000 a month to train for the Olympics. She's in the gym 5 days a week after school, lifting the equivalent of 25 tons in one session. That's about the mass of a military jet fighter. But that's nothing compared to the weight resting on her young shoulders, the pressure to bring home Olympic gold.
Just to go is an honor, and if I medal, I'm just going to be ecstatic. I don't care, bronze, silver, or gold. I'll be the happiest woman on earth.
Now, if you don't recall seeing women's weightlifting in the Olympics, there's a good reason. It debuts next year in Sydney. Her family is no stranger to the camera. The answer to today's Extra Snapshot, next.
You need more than exercise to firm your skin. New Nivea Skin Firming Lotion with safflower oil and advanced liposomes boosts your skin's firmness and tone while you moisturize. New Nivea Body Skin Firming Lotion.
I'm going to try and leave work early today.
Number 22 is leaving early.
New 160 horsepower Civic SI Coupe from Honda. What about now?
Tonight, Susan and Vicky in Luisa's bedroom. And there's Luis and Maddie. Need I say more? Then a Mad About You family tree shocker.
Your cousins.
Cousins?
All right.
Big deal.
No, good. Fine.
There are only 2 more Mad About Yous left. NBC tonight. Then.
The race is on. Get those people out of it to save a city. Daddy! The breathtaking conclusion.
Oh, my God.
Atomic Train, NBC tonight.
Welcome to Massachusetts. Enjoy a bowl of chowder, a mouth-watering lobster. What gets out butter stains? Nothing. Wear a bib. Massachusetts, take a real vacation.
This is how value stacks up in 1990 Isuzu Rodeo LS 4x4.
Now, for a limited time, no down payment, $289 a month.
Air, automatic, power, more. Nothing stacks up to 1990 Isuzu Rodeo 4x4.
No down payment, $289 a month.
This is how value stacks up in 1990 Isuzu Trooper.
No down payment or security deposit, $309 a month.
Automatic, cassette, and more. Nothing stacks up to 1990 Isuzu Trooper.
No down payment or security deposit, $309 a month.
A limited time offer.
Welcome to the Massachusetts Getaway Guide. 160 pages of places to stay and things to do, from historic attractions to outdoor fun. Pick up your free guide at CVS.
So did you figure out the extra snapshot? Isn't she adorable? She got used to smiling for the camera early in life. She's Melanie Griffith. Talk about being raised on Hollywood. Little Melanie and her famous mom, actress Tippi Hedren, posed for this photo at Disneyland. And that's today's extra snapshot. Looks just like her mother. We'll see you back here next time.
Next on Access Hollywood, a surprise invasion at Cannes. Sexy new scenes of Tom and Nicole in Eyes Wide Shut, and Heidi Klum in prime time. Next.
There are things I cannot do.